Welcome to part one of covering Anxiety Month here at Buddha Belly Life. In part one, we're going to be covering what is anxiety and the brain-gut connection. Some of you may or may not know, but this is actually a little more complicated than people are aware of. So not only does our mental health affect our gut, but our gut can affect our mental health. And specifically, when it comes to anxiety, this is something we see over and over and over. So if you're not familiar, anxiety is really a heightened fight or flight response. It's something that we are supposed to experience when our sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight or flight part of the nervous system, this is the response that protects you from danger, right? But when this is flaring up frequently, it can cause a lot of distress in our lives. And anxiety, you guys, is at like an epidemic level right now. So it's something we really wanted to cover at Buddha Belly Life this month. And understanding anxiety means really understanding the complexity of it. So we're going to get into a little bit here, basically covering understanding the brain-gut communication. In part two, we're actually going to be covering what we can do about it. So this is kind of the understanding video, and later in the month, we're going to drop the video on helping you cope with or manage potential anxiety triggers and symptoms, especially in correlation with mental health and gut health in that communication pathway. So I'm Coach Britt, the founder of Buddha Belly Life and author of Buddha Belly and founder of the Gut Health School, where we train health coaches and professionals in cutting edge gut brain coaching. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about anxiety. So if you're not familiar with this, obviously it's, like I said before, it's a heightened fight or flight response. So normally in nature, you're going to see something, you're going to be walking along, and if you see a bear or you see a lion or you see something like that, your blood's going to pump. Your heart rate's going to increase. Blood is going to be redirected. So it's going to be stolen from the gut and redirected into other areas, right? And this allows us to run from danger. Well, unfortunately, in our modern world, we are coming into contact with things that are triggering this fight or flight response quite frequently. And this can have a multitude of factors. This can be hormonal things. This can be physiological things like the state of your gut, which we'll talk about in a minute. This can be factors like upbringing and early childhood experiences and actual brain pathways. So what we like to do is really help people understand it in a little bit more complex than how we are usually taught about anxiety. Because if we can do that, then we can kind of analyze what it is for us, like what that means for me and what I can do about the things that I struggle with. Okay? So, like we said, when you're in a state of angst, and maybe it's because there's a real danger, maybe it's because you have a heightened response to stress, okay? Maybe you have a sensitive nervous system. Maybe something happens, maybe it doesn't, maybe you have a trauma background. But when you are perceiving or experiencing anxiety, the physiological effects can be quite rough on the body when this is happening on a regular basis. So this can pull blood flow from the gut, leading to stagnation issues. It can kill off the good bacteria. And conversely, right, the gut we now know has a massive impact over our brain. So the gut is responsible for producing majority of your serotonin and dopamine. These are your happy hormones. These are the things that make you feel good. So if the gut is out of whack, if it's not doing its job well, if the ecosystem there is subpar, then unfortunately, this can have very negative consequences on the gut or on the brain. And not only because it's not producing some of those happy neurotransmitters, but because we now know that the gut-brain pathway goes both ways. It goes from one to the other and from one to the other. It's a synergistic relationship. So that what that means is that if the gut ecosystem is in a poor state, gram-negative bacteria and toxins can actually create inflammatory responses and stress signals to the brain, inflaming the blood-brain barrier and further exacerbating issues with brain function, including mental health. So I hope you guys got a little bit out of this. This is our short snippet. If you want more information, this full class is available in the Buddha Belly Life Wellness membership. This is a membership that gives you access to holistic health and tools that we can use to grow and achieve our own best level of wellness. And each membership that you purchase each month also donates a membership to someone who can't afford to do it for themselves. So what we do is we donate for every person, for every month that you are a member. You're also supporting or sponsoring another member within this too. And the whole point is that to help educate people in health and wellness, connect them to the tools and the things that they need, and help us grow better and healthier as people. So you can check that out at buddhabellylife.com. And until next time, we'll talk all about the details of how to improve this gut-brain pathway.